child gets shot for ringing a doorbell. Here's the coverage.
The Kansas City community protesting on Sunday after 16-year-old Ralph Yarl was shot as he was trying to pick up his siblings last week. Police say Yarl accidentally went to the wrong address where he was shot and seriously wounded by the homeowner. Officers arrived at the scene after a neighbor called 911 and took the homeowner immediately into custody.
Our heart goes out to the juvenile victim, and more than anything, to make sure that this child and this child's family knows that there are people working hard, a number of people working hard, to make sure there is justice for this person.
The homeowner, who has not been identified, was released after 24 hours pending further investigation. The police department says they're waiting to obtain a formal statement from the victim and further forensic evidence.
I want everyone to know that I'm listening, and I understand the concern that we are receiving from the community. The information that we have now, it does not say that it's racially motivated. That's still an active investigation. But as a chief of police, I do recognize the racial components of this case. I do recognize and understand the community's concern.
You don't recognize a damn thing. Here's what we recognize. Put it up. You see, there's a child. There's a child who is fighting for his life because a man decided to shoot him. The teen's family, they say he is now in stable condition. Ralph Yarl had been looking forward to graduating from high school. He was visiting West Africa before starting college. Those were the plans. The teen is a section leader in a marching band. Could often be found with a musical instrument in his hand. Ralph earned Missouri All-State Band honorable mention for playing the bass clarinet. He also plays multiple instruments in the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra, talking about a smart, active young man. He is now fighting for his life. Before I go to the attorneys involved, let me say this. The individual who shot him was taken into custody under what's called a 24-hour hold. According to state statute, they are able to hold an individual for 24 hours without affixing a charge. At that time, if there is no confession, if there is no forensics, or if the prosecutor feels as if there is no charge available based on information current, they let him go. Now, they will wax poetic in the press conferences and tell you there's nothing more they can do other than go through the investigative process while more evidence is collected. And primarily, they're looking to get a statement from the child. What if the child was unable to provide a statement? Does that mean that this homeowner gets away with murder if the child died, or attempted murder if the child is unable to identify exactly what happened or articulate those facts? Here's what you do have, Mr. Prosecutor. You do have a child that was shot who was unarmed. You have that. You could have charged this homeowner with endangering the welfare of a minor. You could have done that just to keep his ass in jail, but you didn't. All right, there's more. Put up the attorneys. We got Lee Merritt and Benjamin Crump. They announced Sunday that they are taking the case and promptly criticized authorities in Kansas City, Missouri for releasing the shooter, who they said is a white male. There can be no excuse for the release of this armed and dangerous suspect, according to the attorneys, and we concur 100%. Let's put up the chief and the mayor, both singing the same tune. Chief Stacy Graves and Mayor Quentin Lucas. All right, feckless leaders. A GoFundMe has been started. A GoFundMe has been started by Faith Spoonmore, who identified herself as the aunt, to help the family raise money for medical expenses. Has garnered more than $1 million in donations by Monday morning. You can be part of that contribution. His medical bills may actually be in excess of that. All right, here we go. For anyone who will say, Doc, doesn't mean it's racial. Maybe the white male was startled. Let me paint another picture for you. Let's say it was a young white child, a girl, teenager. She knocks on the door of an African-American male. That man shoots her. She's not armed. She had a good faith reason for being there. She made a mistake. But we know she wasn't trying to harm anyone. She wasn't trying to break and enter. She had no weapon. But there's a black man with a gun, and there's a bullet from his gun inside of a young white child. Do you think he gets a courtesy ride to the police department? A 24-hour hold, release with no charge whatsoever? Press conferences being held about how this obviously was not racially motivated? Do you think he gets that same narrative? You know good and damn well he would not. Which means, based on that answer alone, the elements of racism are already at play. All right, Trae, thoughts on this case?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. What you just said, it'd be different if it was a black homeowner and a white girl. I also think another element of it is that, the kid just rang the doorbell. Like people will ring your doorbell all the time and never shot any of the other ones. You know what I mean? Whether it's missionaries, mailman, package people, contractors, exterminators, people trying to sell you something, but, teenagers with magazine subscriptions, whatever. If you live in a neighborhood, unexpected visitors are going to ring your doorbell all the time, and he wasn't willy-nilly shooting all of them. There had to be something that was different about it. It was probably that it was, a black kid at nighttime or in the evening time or whatever. And that was, enough. But it's like, I'm always stunned that, I don't know how old this guy is, this homeowner, but I'm assuming he's got to be at least, well into adulthood, probably. And it's wild to me that he made it this far without doing something this insane before, you know what I mean? Because, if you got that much of a hair trigger, but I feel like there's a lot of people in this country who, are so ginned up and freaked out about everything and so in love with their guns and all that they sit around waiting for a moment like this. Do you know what I mean? Where they can stand their ground or whatever in their mind, they almost fantasize about it or something. And they're just on pins and needles all the time, expecting to have to defend their life with their firearm or whatever. And when you couple that with how afraid they are of black people, then, something like this happens.
Yeah, or how afraid they claim they are because they know it becomes an affirmative defense if they kill a black person.